All right, y'all. So this is sort of a short one, just a quick update. I'm migrating from Warp 2 to Coder. I think Coder is by Alibaba. I came across it a couple of days ago, and I was having some frustration with Warp. So I figured I'd give it a try. I love the way it looks. I'm having a fantastic experience with it. Excuse me. Um, you can look at here. It does prioritizing. It's pulled in Playwright. I love that this is here. The debug console is here. I can see my code. It has me accept the code. It's also an auto accept. I'm not sure for this part, but here there's an auto accept, which is handy. Uh, Basically, my grading was pretty simple. I just pointed it over to the project in my local GitHub and asked it to take a look through the code. From what I understand, it has a pretty deep knowing of the code. I haven't been with it long enough to actually say much about it, but it's done a great job of telling me where I had code duplication and doing some consolidation as well. Hold on, let me see if I could find the. It spotted all my frameworks. I had it basically here looking at. I've tried to put some layers of meta learning in here, just at different junctures to basically make the machine. This is a consciousness simulation, Dionysus. Little something I'm working on just as a means of reviewing some of the cognitive neuroscience. But let me see if I can find. Okay, so the mission here, I sent it on a quest to go through the system and just kind of list all the places where I had implemented the meta learning. Both, well, episodic. I have procedural meta learning in here, but don't worry about that for now. So I like that. It it kind of grades your code. Uh, Thus far, I haven't seen it be judgy. It hasn't been judgy. It's been objective, which is good. It's been like there's a mess here, there's a mess there, but it also comes up with cool names for stuff when it's done well. So it's cool. Um, so yeah, so it actually went through and found my active inference one, my episodic RL. It'll also find the papers that I based it on. Just a quick note: the approach I'm using is code as action, code as action. Essentially, if I put the paper in here, I've got it wired so that it interprets the paper, it grabs the core ideas that are relevant to my framework, and it does an implementation. I had that actually warped it, so I got to give Warp credit for that. Um, PyMDP is a POMDP, partially obstructed Markov decision process. What do you call it? Implementation and active inference. A lot of this I'm using active inference because it pretty much universalizes stuff. I won't get too deep into the project. I just feel like it's kind of rude to like be pointing to stuff and not say anything about it. I also, since it's contextual context engineering, I've been integrating contextual behavioral science, Stephen Hayes' work, act therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy uses it. Relational frame theory uses it. So one of the things I'm putting in here is the active inference implementation of a narrative engine. So that fits well with what else? I'm guessing it should fit well with relational frame theory, RFT. I think I just said that. But I'm hoping that also allows it to travel across. There's apparently a relational field theory, which I hadn't heard of. Um, but I do have a neural field in here, and the memories in here are implemented as attractors. The context engineering class right here provided just in time. So context engineering, it shapes the meta learning landscape. Essentially, I found the context engineering this encyclopedia uh, online. I'll put the link in the comments when I come back around. But it uses this metaphor of uh, it has a context class, a context field class, I think, and it uses a metaphor of a river with the embankments, the mouth of the delta of the river, um, bringing in different information sources. I won't fuck it up if I try to explain it, but it implements the an attractor basin that all memories, if you pass them in through, it allows your system to create new basins when the concepts haven't been explained before, and it allows it uses bowls, attractor bowls, which have like a gravitational pull and pull concepts into them when the concepts are relevant. What I've done in here, y'all gonna get me geeking in here. What I've done, and I've never been good at kind of showing code around here, but what I've done is I've integrated it with a system I call Dataless. I use LangGraphs, the supervisor, like the main dispatcher and creator of agents. Initially, this is embarrassing. Um, I had jacked some code from Professor Synapse from back in the day. It was good at creating and delegating what back in the ChatGPT 3.54 era. It was good at delegating agents, and so initially I had that implemented in here before I got a deeper understanding of how LangChain LangGraph was doing the implementation. I don't want to get too off topic, but what's really good is the way I have this infrastructure set up, which is kind of cool, is that I created a Markov blanket that basically surrounds this space of memory processing, and I called is it the perceptual gateway? Essentially, information can pass in through that. It's designed to simulate perception, and once it goes into there, it has to go across the basin. Then it goes through, and I think the basin is wrapped around. I'm still working through this, through the attractors that are working memory. As it passes through working memory, here you go, working memory formation complete. After it passes through working memory, then it after it passes through working memory, then it goes to episodic. After episodic memory, then it goes to semantic, and then procedural. I mentioned earlier that I had the procedural implemented as code as action, so it can take whatever papers I feed it. It will grab um, the relevant functions and stuff, and use it as a means of enhancing this. A lot of the what I've also added in here, which I saw was supposed to be pretty amazing, is Nemori and Memory. It's supposed to sound like memory, I guess. Memory, it uses actual events, which, like much like the brain, it uses events as a means of segmentation and meaning making. It also, I think, what they found is it's supposed to be a simpler mechanism than a lot of the other ones. Um, LangMem and Mem Mem Zero. Saw some benchmarks where it beat Mem Zero. I didn't take into details. I was just making sure it was as cool as it looked. So I put that in here and created a memory consolidation pipeline because one of my main interests is memory reconsolidation. So that makes sense. I put that in here, and that pipeline, it implements, I think, a lot of the decay in parallel with the original context engineering class, which inspired a lot of this. Um, I'll get too caught up in this and really not make sense, but let's see. It tells you it has a prioritized task list, which is cool. And if you look right here, you'll see it generates the to-dos. Hold on, where are they? I literally had them in portrait. Oh, there. Still haven't figured out how to get this font bigger. So my 52-year-old eyes are struggling. So it'll break your stuff out in phases and stuff, um, and check through them when it's done. Warp claimed it was doing that, but first of all, Warp would ignore the shit out of my rules over here, which was so frustrating, and it would um, it would like ignore the to dos and stuff, and where was I? Had to deal with home interactions and stuff. Morning chaos. Uh, yeah, it was just it was I've been using it for a little bit of a while, not a super long time, And initially, I was just using it as a super terminal. It was great. Then it went agentic and started talking to me a lot. And so at one point, I realized, excuse me, I probably won't go back and edit that. And so, bless me. At one point, I realized that it could code. And so we built out this behemoth. And then the frustration point started hitting. So the to-dos was poorly managed there. I haven't messed with the add context yet. I only got it a couple days ago, like I said. It does the to-dos here. It checks them off as they're done. And the files it changes, I think this is cool. You get to accept the files it changes. If you click on a particular file, well, apparently not here. While it's working on them, if you click on a particular file, it will take you to it. It's really good at planning. Warp says planning with codebase 4.1. It does it selectively. I've seen this one plan more and the plans actually be implemented as to-dos and stuff. It's a great flow. And I've just only been on it a couple days and I've really been enjoying it. Your code library can end up over here. It has a quest feature. I'm trying to remember. Quest allows you to have multiple agents go running. And I guess each one reports back to you when it's done. I have not messed with it yet. All right, so I feel like I've documented the key things and pretty much am migrating my stuff over. So goodbye, Warp 2.